You guys are going to do some songs today from Aubrey's debut solo record. It's called Impossible.
Yes.
Came out on September 1st. So congrats on that.
Thank you.
Tell us about the first song you're going to do for us today.
Okay, so the first song we'll do today is called Gossip. And I wrote it after having a conversation with somebody, and they were talking bad about somebody to my face. And I thought, what in the world do you say when I'm not here? So that's where the song came from.
Sweet.
And we can talk more about it after that.
Great.
All right, let's do it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Here we go. Blah 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 blah. If you can't say anything nice, then sit right here by me. We started out with one little tale, but ended up with 3. You like that multiplication, adult education. If you're gonna be saying stuff behind his back, behind her back, behind their backs, what you gonna be saying about me? What you gonna be saying about me? Oh, if you're gonna be saying stuff behind his back, behind her back, behind their backs, what you gonna be saying about me? What you gonna be saying about me? Now don't go pitching a fit, 'cause you might as well just admit that if you don't wanna take a hit, then you better stop talking that. Blah 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 blah. La 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 la. Whoa, it ain't what they say about you, it's what they whisper. Hey, if you keep on burning, you're bound to blister. You got a keen sense of rumor, a bad sense of humor. I said, you got a keen sense of rumor, funny, 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 a bad sense of humor. But if you're gonna be saying stuff behind his back, behind her back, behind their backs, what you gonna be saying about me? What you gonna be saying about me? If you're gonna be saying stuff behind his back, behind her back, behind their backs, what you gonna be saying about me? And now don't go pitching a fit, 'cause you might as well just admit that if you don't wanna take a hit, well then you better stop talking that. I was thinking, I don't really care about the thing he might have said, but if you could give me your point of view, that 30 miles don't be getting all up in your head, although you never really know if it's true. She not too bright, but bless her heart, all sticks and stones you excuse. They may never rob your digs or slash your tires, 'cause that's too easy for you. So don't go pitching a fit, 'cause you might as well just admit that if you don't wanna take a hit, oh, you better stop talking that. Don't go pitching a fit, 'cause you might as well just, oh, and if you don't wanna take a hit, blah 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 blah.
You caught me unawares there. I wasn't sure.
Caught you unawares?
Yeah. That was like that stare was intense.
I mean, it's just it's kind of the joke's on me and the joke's on you, and
Yeah.
that's both.
Mostly on me, I think. I don't know. It's hard to tell. So I want to talk about the record.
Yeah.
It's your first solo record.
It is.
And for those who don't know you, to this point, I think you've been mostly known for your role in Postmodern Jukebox, and that is a group, for those who don't know, who sort of take modern songs, pop songs, a lot of radio songs, and they rework them into sort of jazzy arrangements.
It's exactly what they do.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's something that you have done for a long time.
It is.
But this record, there are a couple of those kinds of songs on the record, but
Right.
there are 9 originals out of 12 total songs, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So how new is that for you? I mean, have you been writing your own songs all along?
Yeah, I
You
have. Yeah. So with Postmodern Jukebox, I met the leader's name is Scott Bradley. I actually met Steve with Postmodern Jukebox, by the way. And the leader's name is Scott Bradley. And so what happened is I was already doing shows, hadn't made an album yet. And in my shows, it was always kind of the percentage that you described on the album Impossible, 30% covers and the rest originals. And I'm a little bit old school. I kind of do the show before I record the album.
Okay.
That's where that jazz tradition comes in, and the pop tradition is a little bit flipped. So I had done some covers, that aren't on the record, just old ones that you can dig up on the interwebs.
Yeah.
Where I took pop songs and turned them into swing, or just like took a Missy Elliott song and turned it into bebop. And Scott Bradley got mega famous with Postmodern Jukebox one day. And then one day later, right around the time I was doing the same kind of thing, but not as periods. Hello, microphone. Not as period specific as Postmodern Jukebox. He found one of my covers online, and I got a tweet or a phone call, and then we collaborated together for the first time. And then I can't thank him enough, because the fans, hello people,
Yeah.
hello Postmodern Jukebox lovers. They've been really loyal and stuck around. So I'm
Is
really
that
happy
something
about
that you think like continues for you, as in terms of like how you divide, the music that you make, or you think-
I hope so. As far as like the trajectory is concerned, I'll always want to pay homage to some familiar influencer of mine, perhaps, or just be relevant enough to take a Taylor Swift song and turn it into swing,
Yeah.
for example. So I don't think that will ever fully go away.
Right.
No. Yeah.
Yeah, cool. So you're gonna do a few more from
We're gonna do some more.
Impossible for us. Tell us about the
Absolutely.
next one you're gonna do.
Okay, this song is called it's called Don't Want to Tell Nobody. And I wrote it after I actually left a band. It's a breakup song, and it's about that feeling you get when you really know it was the right thing to move on, but you really miss them still. And you don't want to tell nobody that you miss them. So let's put this in. Do it. Play that E flat for me. Yeah. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. I thought I had to let you go, but now I can't decide. Thought you were wrong for me, but now I can't make up my mind. I don't wanna tell nobody that I miss you, 'cause baby, it just seemed like everybody told me to ditch you. Now I wish that I could turn back time and take a look and find that I am off the hook, 'cause you're really that bad. I stayed in bed all day, and lately I make myself cry. Could what if till the day that I die,
just seemed like everybody told me to ditch you. And now I wish that I could turn back time, oh, and take a look, steal back what's mine, oh, that you took, 'cause you're really that bad. You told me you were my security. You said you would watch over me. Oh, yes, you did. Oh, but the real danger was in the safe round. So I think it's time for me to peace out. Well, I'm not looking for safe, I'm looking for good. And you're really that bad. And I don't wanna tell nobody that I miss you, 'cause baby, it just seemed like everybody told me to ditch you. Well, maybe they were right, so I'll turn back time, oh, and take a look, steal back what's mine, oh, that you took. Oh, and guess what, baby? Well, I'm off the hook, 'cause you're really that
Wow,
Thank you.
that's amazing.
Oh, man. Appreciate it.
So there seems to be so many styles infused into the music you make. There's
Right.
jazz, there's R&B,
Yeah.
there's pop, there's soul.
Yeah.
Where does it all come from? How, when you were coming up, when you were younger, you know, who did you look to as like your beacons?
Yeah. Well, I was raised by two music teachers, the band director and
That
the
makes
choir
a lot of
director.
sense.
Got married and had a baby, and that's the so when we would be like, my mom and dad and I would be cleaning the house, vacuuming, cooking, chopping carrots, whatever it was, they'd be blasting their tunes all throughout the house, and it would be Beethoven and Stevie Wonder and Tears for Fears and the Spice Girls and Beyonce and Duke Ellington, and that wasn't weird to me.
They were putting on the Spice Girls, or you
Absolutely,
were
because
putting
I
on the Spice
asked.
Girls?
I asked for the Spice Girls, but you know that all that, and Michael Jackson and all of that stuff. So that wasn't odd to me. I didn't really learn. You know, when you're a kid, you just go with whatever people are putting in your face. You know,
Yeah.
you accept it. And so, yeah, I didn't find that was unusual until later in life. And then, but you output what you input, you know? So I think it was just all that time inputting these different sounds. And then I didn't really try to make anything sound a certain way. It's just what comes out is what goes in, I think.
Right. And
Yeah.
you went to Berklee College of Music in Boston.
I did.
Yeah. And when you were there, what was your like course of study?
Technically, I declared trombone performance my major, but I sang the whole time and played the whole time, obviously. And this is my humble maker. It's like the thorn in my side that I love and will never get rid of. But yeah, I studied trombone performance technically, and I sang in weddings the whole time I was at school. So learning a bunch of lyrics all the time, and wish I still had that skill.
How did you land on the trombone of all of the instruments that must have been cycling through your house?
Before I was about 12 years old, when I was a young kid, I wanted to perform so badly. Being raised up northeast of Seattle in a town called Snohomish, we weren't in New York, we weren't in LA. We didn't know my parents didn't know, like, where are we going to put her? Where are we going to go on stage? So the answer at the time was musical theater, because that was what was available. Mm-hmm. So I got some child roles in some professional productions, did that. The trombone is coming, I promise. And there's a method. And then after kind of going through that world for a little while, when you're like a preteen in 7th grade, you want to be back at school with your friends, and I wanted to be back at school with my friends. So I went back to school. My mom was the choir director at my school, so there was no way I was going to be in choir.
Yeah.
And I didn't play an instrument except kind of piano, and I could read music, but I didn't have anything. And all the kids in my geeky special kids class that I was in were in band. And so all my friends were in band and I wasn't. And I felt very left out. And I was 12, and that's the time when you have all those feelings.
Yeah.
So I cried about it a few times, and my mom said, well, what are we going to do? Why don't we just put you in band? I'm like, you can't put me in band. I'm 2 years behind everyone. I can't do it. It's not how it works. And she's like, well, I'll talk to my colleague, the band director, and see if he can get you in. And I'm going, okay. So it turns out he let me in, and I didn't want to play any instrument that I didn't see in the jazz ensemble, because I didn't just want to play classical. I wanted to make sure. And I didn't see flutes in the jazz band. I mean, we know now that there's jazz flute, but I didn't see it. I didn't see violins. I didn't see bassoons. And I saw trumpets, saxophones, and trombones. And being a big fan of James Brown as a 12-year-old, I saw a trombone in that band. And being a big fan of the band Chicago, I saw a trombone in that band. I really liked the sound, and my dad was a principal at a school. He brought home some instruments, and I played them all, and I could make a sound on this. And so that's where it started.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah.
And here we are, all these years later,
Right.
finally made it to Paste,
Right. I love it here. This place is magical.
So you're going to do a couple more from Impossible.
so.
Tell us about the next one you're going to do.
Okay, so the next one we're going to do is an aria from an opera that I was told that I wasn't supposed to sing because I wasn't the right vocal classification.
Not by us. I just
Not
want
by
to
you.
clarify. Yeah.
Not by you. No, I was told by just like an opera coach when I was a teenager, you can't sing that because you're not technically the right voice classification. And so not only are we going to do it, but we're going to do it in a bit of a Latin jazz style. So we're going to take it out of context.
And dedicate it to whoever that person was.
We love that person. Yeah, and so we're going to do Habanera from Bizet's Carmen. All right, ready, y'all?
Yep.
apprivoiser. Et c'est bien avant qu'on l'appelle, et c'est lui qu'on vient de refuser. Rien n'est fait, mais ne sous prière, l'un parle bien, l'autre se tait. Et c'est l'autre que je préfère, il n'a rien dit, mais il me plaît. L'amour, 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 l'amour en ton fond de bohème. Il n'est jamais, jamais qu'un de loi. Si tu ne m'aimes pas, je t'aime. Si je t'aime, en prends garde à toi. Si tu ne m'aimes pas, si tu ne m'aimes pas, je t'aime. Mais si je t'aime, grand enfant de bohème. Il n'a jamais, jamais connu de loi. Si tu ne m'aimes pas, je t'aime. Si je t'aime, en prends garde à toi. Si tu ne m'aimes pas, si tu ne m'aimes pas, je t'aime. Mais si je t'aime, en prends garde.
Wow.
I'm clapping because we haven't played in this configuration together before, and I love it. It's the
Yeah,
first
it's
time
amazing.
we've done
I mean,
this.
it sounds great, and I can't imagine anyone possibly telling you that you should not sing that song.
No, it's in the opera world, I don't know a lot about it, but what I do know is there's, they have sopranos and mezzo-sopranos and altos, and you sing the role that your voice is called to, and I wasn't called to sing that role. It's okay, we jazzed it.
Yeah, that's
cool.
right. That's right. It all
Yeah.
sounds, I'm sure Bizet would be, I think he's actually here.
Is he? Where?
Yeah, he's here somewhere. So that is one of the 3 songs that aren't originals
It is.
on Impossible. And the
Right.
other 2 are California Dreamin' by the Mamas and the Papas and You Can't Touch This.
You Can't Touch This by MC Hammer.
So those are obviously 3 very disparate sounding songs.
Right.
What do you look for in the songs that you put your treatment on?
I just have to be moved by it somehow, because if I'm not, then I probably won't be able to make a moving interpretation of it.
Yeah.
So for this one, for example, I don't know many people who aren't moved by blah, do, 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 do. I mean, it's infectious. It's a beautiful melody. And so and Bobby McFerrin, even did it. He got hip to it too. So I think I just have to feel some sort of connection with it. So for California Dreamin', and there's a video up for that on YouTube, I was in Belfast with Postmodern Jukebox one time, and I was with Casey Abrams. It's a duet with him on the album, and we were sitting around backstage, and it was a really dreary day in Belfast, and we were all just a little cranky. The whole group was just a little cranky that day. Happened to be raining cats and dogs. Then we go on stage to do the song and to do the show, and we come back to the pipes having burst backstage right by our wardrobes. So we're changing into our other evening gowns, like in the water, and going on stage as if nothing had happened. And then after the show was over, I was sitting around and I started singing California Dreamin' because I missed California. I'd be safe and warm if I was in LA. That's one of the lyrics.
Yeah, and you're a Seattle girl, so you
I'm a
probably
Seattle girl.
are, you grew up with that kind of
I did.
with the weather.
But LA's, it's now made itself home for me. And so I was singing it, and then Casey just joined me on his little Irish instrument he had bought that day somewhere. And we were singing it together, and I was like, I think I got to put this on my record because there's a feeling here that I'll remember forever, and maybe that'll translate. So we did that.
But that's how it happens, sort of like you just sort of
Right.
find your way to the song. I mean, like for You Can't Touch This, were you looking for a 90s hip-hop song?
I actually was.
Yeah.
I was looking for a 90s hip-hop song because I just really wanted to do a 90s hip-hop song.
Yeah.
And I went through, I Googled the top 90s hip-hop songs, went through them all, couldn't lyrically, relate to anything. Nothing was coming up, nothing was working. Then I was in Sprouts supermarket, and I was picking up my onions and picking up my lemons, and I heard You Can't Touch This play in the supermarket, and I started immediately going, that's the one, and I started singing the reharm in the middle of the store, to myself. I probably looked like a crazy person, but then it was You Can't Touch This.
Yeah, well, no one captures the zeitgeist like MC Hammer. I mean, in terms of relatability.
That's for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, so you got one more. You got one more from
Yeah,
Impossible.
we do.
What's that one gonna be?
This one's called Crying on the Airplane, which I'm sure no one's ever done. And I wrote it after I was, I just started dating this guy, and we went to the airport together because he was going to say goodbye to me for a month. And it was a fresh, just started dating, so we're all the touchy-feelies are happening. And I'm ready to take off, and I'm going to miss you so much. And it was a new relationship and he hadn't said the L word yet. And we're sitting in the airport and he says, right before I leave, I love you. And I said, thank you. And then I got on the plane and I deeply regretted that. I was like, dang it, I said the wrong thing. And I cried. And now I'm married to him, so it's cool.
Oh, all right.
But at the time, it was probably a little bit traumatic. So this is that song. This is Crying on the Airplane.
Nice.
Now you know. Sorry. 1, 2, 3.
Hey, I got my Jimmy Choo's dirty and I can't really see. I be running towards security, a long line for me. Were you just saying that you love me now? I can't look back. Is it you or is it me having a heart attack? I thought I had a plan. At least I should have held your hand. I'm sorry, I misunderstand, but I don't know anymore. You got me crying on the airplane. Wanted to tell you, but it's too late. Fasten my seatbelt, gonna fly. You got me crying on the airplane. Whoa. Well, now my face is all a mess, got people staring at me. But I don't care, cause all I'm thinking about's what I didn't say. Wanted to call you on the phone, but I'm a mile in the sky and say I love you and I want you, I need you in my life. I got a ways to land. Ooh, at least I should have held your hand. Hey, I'm sorry, I misunderstand, but you're not here anymore. Hey, you got me crying on the airplane. Wanted to tell you, but it's too late. Fasten my seatbelt, gonna fly. You got me crying on the airplane. You got me crying on the airplane. Wanted to tell you, but it's too late. Fasten my seatbelt, gonna fly. You got me crying on the airplane. Do it again. Oh, this turbulence, it's driving me mad. Pilot, hurry up and touch down. Ooh, well, if my head were on straight, I would have married you in Terminal 3. Oh, baby, what I meant to say is I think about you every day. I think I'll catch a later plane. Oh, won't you come home with me? You got me crying on the airplane. Hey, wanted to tell you, but it's too late. Fasten my seatbelt, gonna fly. You got me crying on the airplane. Wanted to tell you, but it's wanted to tell you so bad. Fasten my seatbelt, gonna fly. Fasten my seatbelt, gonna fly. Fasten my seatbelt, gonna fly. You got me crying on the airplane. Cha cha cha.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you very much.
Oh, man, that sounded so good.
I'm so happy.
Yeah.
They're the bomb.
They're great. This is Steve Whipple on bass and
Whipple.
Seth Johnson on guitar
Seth Johnson.
and Aubrey Logan.
That's me.
Debut album is Impossible. It came out on September 1st. Everyone should go run out and get it. and that made the obvious case for why.
Thank you.
So I know you're heading on tour. I think out to Europe first, and then back to the States.
We just did LA and New York and Boston, and then next is Sweden and some Russian cities, and the UK and France, and then whatever is next.
Whatever's
back
next.
to the United States after that. Yeah, we'll be in Sacramento. We'll be back all around. So
Right, all these dates are on AubreyLogan.com.
they're all on AubreyLogan.com, and
Right.
the tickets are just click tour.
So thank you so much,
Thank you so
for
much.
coming and playing for us today. Paced, it was really, really great. And you should come back anytime.
Can't wait. Thank you.